Hey guys, Kinder Knight here, and I'd like to give a warm welcome back to the channel for episode 7 in this Let's Build a Medieval Castle and Town series, which is set in the style of what you would expect to see if you lived in the late 14th to 15th century Bohemia, with of course pulling a lot of inspiration from the game Kingdom Come Deliverance. And in this episode, we're continuing to make great progress here with the newest addition to the town, a very important building, arguably, depending on how you look at it, the most important structure in a medieval town. I bet you guys can already guess what that is. The build for today is something I guarantee you would not want to miss. Let's get into it. So obviously, if you guys clicked on the video, you've seen the thumbnail, and so you are aware that we are building in this episode the first church of Dobek. Again, a very important building in any medieval town, since the church played a big part in the lives of the people, both socially and economically. Having a place for worship and to display their devotion was imperative, and so likewise the same goes for the town of Dobek. The church would have been constructed either during the final stages of Dobek Castle or shortly after its completion. The church was built by the first lord of Dobek out of the need to sway and pacify the laboring workforce and the newly established peasantry, who, due to many unfortunate mishaps during the construction of the castle and town, thought to believe the town cursed and God was punishing them for their lack of devotion. They threatened to abandon the town and its construction projects, unless they could be given a place where they can worship and appease their God. And so that's a little history lesson on how this church was founded within the town of Dobek. My biggest goal was to have the church not only just be aesthetically pleasing, but also to have a sense of opulence and be imposing in its own way, and still very much fit in with the already established look and feel of the town and castle, and just really be that thing that just pulls it all together and makes it feel real and believable. And now, the church is loosely based off of the kinds of churches you would see within the game Kingdom Come Deliverance. This style really fits well with the town, and I'm obviously super stoked with how it all turned out, and I'm even more excited to show you guys some of the interiors on the walkthrough. I think you guys are gonna really dig this one. I put a lot of effort and a lot of planning and thought into this build, and so I hope you guys really enjoy it and get a kick out of it. I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna let the time lapse finish out, and after it's done, like always, we'll meet back here for the walkthrough tour. Alright guys, we are back and we are right outside the church here, and off to its left here we have a little nice little plot that wasn't featured in the time lapse, but it is still very much a part of today's build, and that is because it is the home of the town's priest and his two monks, and so I think it'll tie in very nicely with today's tour, so we'll be checking out both those builds. I must say, there's a lot of neat things to see in today's episode, and as always, I hope you enjoy and maybe even learn something new, and maybe be able to take something away that you can apply to your own personal builds. So we'll go ahead and start the tour from here, and just taking a peek over at the church from here and just looking at how it towers over all the other buildings, you can really start to get the sense of how important and impactful this building must be and play in the lives of the people of Dobek. But I think we'll go ahead and save the church for last and check out the priest and his two monk companions home first. So this is the outside of the home. As you can see, nothing too fancy. They are men of the cloth, as they say, so again, they don't have too many luxuries or too many fancy things going on with their home. They do have some wood out here. They have this nice little tree with a little bench in the shade to sit, and then over on the side of the house here, there's nothing much to see, just a wheelbarrow on its side. But moving on, we do have some more firewood here being stored, and now we approach the yard. And as you can see, it's lots of details in this place, lots of things to see. I'll try to point as many of the details out as possible. But moving on down this way, we have their outhouse. As you can see, the flies, it's a pretty stinky place right now. And of course, we do have this basin of water here to wash ourselves after using the outhouse. And then over here, we have an area to store a larger quantity of firewood alongside with a chopping block there. And then we do have some vegetation in this little tree. Looks kind of cool. We have some clothes drying right here, some laundry. And then right over here we have this building. And now this building kind of serves as the priest and the monks' personal kind of granary. And now this is all stuff that would have been donated through the church from the townspeople and stuff. And so the monks have a place to store their goods and food supplies. And then something I think is pretty cool is we have this little pig pen over here. As you can see, we have about 3 pigs. And they're just kind of chilling in here. One of them is sleeping there. And they are covered in flies because they're pigs and so they smell. So cool little detail there. And then over here, we do have this kind of larger chicken coop where when the monks that would need to gather the chickens, they would gather them in and, you know, sort them into that building, and then they would close the door to lock them down when they want to, you know, put them away. And then here we just have this shed where we just have some supplies stored and things that the monks may need, because the monks would be responsible for keeping the grounds clean and caring for the animals and just pretty much assisting the priest in his day-to-day activities while he runs the church. So that's that. We do have some more grassy areas there. I like to add a lot of grass and trees and shrubs and bushes to just kind of add in that more of a rural feel to the atmosphere, and so I think it came out pretty good. But we're gonna go ahead and move on and check out the interiors of the house. Again, you guys have seen my interiors of the house. Not much change, but I do try to mix them up just a little bit and add some variety as much as I can. But coming into the house, we immediately step into the kitchen area where the food is prepared by the monks. And this house has a really cool feature where all the smoke from the fire and the stove can permeate up through the opening in the ceiling there and then out through the chimney. So I thought that was a really cool feature there. And then over in the corner here, we have an area where the monks can get something to drink. We have some cups up there. And then just a closer look at our stove and how the monks cook their food. Really cool stuff, very realistic. And then of course we just have some shelves around the room too. We have a bench here in the corner. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all to show you guys, all we can say about this room in particular. I think we'll go ahead and go into this room here. And now this room is a special room because this is where the monk and the priest sleeps. As you can see, the priest has this nicer bed here, and then the monk sleeps on this little thatch pallet on the ground. But they do have a lot of cool things like these pictures on the wall, or these paintings of like people that were maybe saints or something like that. And then we have some scriptures right there, maybe that they read in the morning. They have this shelf with some books and some scrolls. And then we have like this table to do some writing and some reading at too. And of course, the room has a couple of chests to store some personal belongings. And now just a couple of steps across the hall, we come into another room where we have another table here. And this is more so serves as the monks' dining room where they eat. We have this little lectern here so the priests can read from their holy tomes while the monks eat. Again, they have more paintings on the walls of saints that's probably been venerated or people who's been venerated. More shelves with scrolls and books and stuff like that. They're men of the cloth again, so they do have literature because they can read. But that's about it. That's their house. We checked out the kitchen where they sleep and where they eat, and so I think it's time to go check out the church grounds now. So we'll go ahead and move on. And now I did do a lot of work with the layering and just trying to create this look where the church looks like it kind of sits on a small hill, and I think I did a pretty good job. It feels natural, it looks natural. I like the way the stone is kind of peeking out through the grassy areas and then all the tall vegetation all mixed in. It looks pretty cool. But anyways, we'll go ahead and step through these gates that are open, so it's welcoming us in, so we can go ahead and continue up this path. There are a lot of really cool details to see outside, but I think we're gonna go ahead and maybe check out the interiors of the church first, and then we'll double back out and check out the outside. But stepping up to the church, we do come to this very ornate arched doorway. Very cool looking. And then stepping on in, we come to these two nice red oak doors. And now we actually step inside the church, and as you can see, lots of cool details, the ceiling with the beams there. And then over here we have this door, which we will check out and see what's behind it. So let's go ahead and open that up. And then stepping inside, we come to this little kind of library kind of place. I imagine this would be where the monks holds or keeps most of their religious tomes, their most important books and scrolls. We also have this little chest here where they can keep some valuables, maybe for ceremonies and services, locked away in that chest. We have a table here to write at and something like that, and then a nice bench here to just sit and read when they want to. So that's that. We'll go ahead and move on out of here, and then we'll enter the main part of the church. But before we do have this lavabo here to wash our hands before entering into the main and holy parts of the church. And so we'll go ahead after that and we'll step in, and as you guys can see, check this out. I really did my due diligence with this one for sure. I really wanted this to feel like something out of the 14th century, so I really wanted to come up with a really cool color palette, and I think I nailed it with this one, with lots of ornate details and paintings, and I'm just really happy with how this all turned out. The colors really all mesh well with each other. As you can see, lots of murals and lots of depictions and paintings. Here we have the little treasury box there. And then over here we have another lavabo. Gotta keep those hands clean. And then here to the right, we have our first altar and effigies with some important people that were maybe venerated as saints. And then over here to the left, we have another effigy. But again, some more venerated people, and maybe they view as holy. And so moving on, we approach the main altar. It's a bigger one. As you can see, more paintings and depictions of venerated people or saints and stuff like that. Really cool. I think it really feels medieval. I think it goes really well with the town. I feel that has enough opulence to be in a town like this. It's not too over the top with bright colors. It's very neutral, but still very colorful. And I think I nailed the idea I had in my head. Overall, I think it looks really realistic and it's a good fit. But anyways, we'll go ahead and move on and check out the tower to the church, because there are some more awesome details found in there. But before we do, I just want to point out some of these graves here. There's lots of graves, and some of them are kind of inconspicuous, I would say. You don't really see them because they're older graves, and a lot of the grass and plants just kind of overtaken them, and so they're kind of hard to spot. But you'll be able to notice some of them by the little border that you see here, and that's how you know those are graves. But we'll have to keep an eye out for the ones that are missing that, because there's a lot of them, and we don't want to be disrespectful by stepping all over them. But anyways, we'll open a door here and we'll head up this spiral staircase, and then we're going to make our way through this hallway here. We have this little window right here to let some light in, and now we come to the upper parts of our church. And now this is, I guess, where the priest would stand and give sermons while the people are down below and they're just kind of listening, or maybe even praying at the altar while the priest again is giving his sermon or something like that. And then we do have a chest there, and then we do have that candle holder over there. But opening the door here, and we'll make our way inside. Over here we have some barrels right under the stairs. But anyways, we'll take these stairs that lead up. And then if we climb up this ladder here, we'll reach the highest peak that we can climb, and we come to where the big bell is kept, where the big church bell is kept. And just check this out, guys. It looks so cool. I really wanted to make this look and feel as realistic as possible, and as you can see, it kind of has like a look that it actually can work. We have this pole here that's connected to that swivel up there, and then the priest or monk would pull on this this rope here, and that will cause the bell to swivel and, you know, make the ding dong sound and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And then we do have these nice ornate windows here. And then amongst other things, we have some little details going on up here. If you look in the corner, we have these cobwebs, and then over here we have this owl, and it's protecting its little nest right there. And so that's a little cool little Easter egg that I like to put into stuff like this. But that's pretty much it, you guys. That's the church and stuff like that. Just check out this bell. Looks really cool. So now we'll go ahead and head back down this ladder, and then we'll go and check out some of the outside stuff that we skipped in the earlier parts of the video. So we'll go ahead and close that door there, and we'll make our way back through this little hallway, and then down this spiral staircase. And now we'll go ahead and close that door. And now we're back outside, and now I want to show you guys some more of the little graves. As you can see, we have some graves here. Again, a lot of the graves are kind of hidden, and that's because, again, over time the grass and the trees and roots just kind of grown over them a little bit, and the monks try to keep them as clean as possible, but they're not perfect. But anyways, we have these graves over here, and then over here we have this big plot of graves, and you can tell they're graves here because they're marked, and so they're easily identifiable, and so we don't have to worry about stepping on them unless we actually are trying to. And then over here we have this very interesting structure. I believe it's called an ossuary, and this is where they would put the bones of like old graves that are been long forgotten and they need more space, so they would dig up those people's bones and then they would just all put them here, and then this would be a very acceptable means of burial. And it was a practice that was pretty prevalent in the medieval time. So we'll go ahead and move on and check out some more of the graveyard. Again, it's just a graveyard. It's not that amazing or anything like that, but we'll just check some more stuff out. Here we go. We have some more graves here. And then we have this grave that's just been freshly dug. We have that shovel there. And we have some trees and some stuff like that. And then over here we have some more graves. And then in this spot here we have some more graves. Again, more graves that are kind of older and maybe more forgotten, I don't know. But then we have some more graves here, easily identified by their stakes in the ground. And then we have some more graves over here as well. So the whole yard is full of graves and stuff like that. And that's pretty much the church grounds, guys, but we do have one more plot to check out here, and we get to it through here, but I think we'll go ahead and take the scenic route, or the path that was more intended for the video purposes. So we'll go ahead and backtrack. So we'll go out to the gates here. And then we'll make our way through the path. And then we do have this little kitty here that's cleaning himself. So let's go through these gates here. Then we'll make our way. We'll make our way over here. A lot of details here with the vegetation and trees and plants and exposed roots. Looks really cool and really natural, really gives a realistic feel to this area. And now this will be in a future video over here. So we'll just ignore that part of the plot. And now we approach the main entrance to this portion of the graveyard. And if you guys noticed, the particular coat of arms carved in stone above the gate here is the coat of arms of the Dobek family. So we are entering the graveyard portion that belongs to the Dobek family, where everyone in their family line or people that are important to them are allowed to be buried. And so we're gonna go ahead and enter. So let's go ahead and open these gate here. And now I think it came out really great in here. So stepping in, first off, we have all this atmosphere, all this overgrown kind of plants and stuff like that. The monks can only keep it so free from overgrowth, I guess you can say, but the point of it is it's an old graveyard. The most important people in the family are obviously buried here. We have this big mausoleum here. Cool stuff. And then we have these smaller graves where maybe knights or, lower ranking members of the family are buried or whatever. Something like that. I don't know. But I think it looks really cool. We have it has a lot of character. We have some broken graves. Some graves are the headstone is kind of tipped over a bit. And then we have these ones over here where, again, probably the more prominent members of the family are buried. And then we have, again, the main one, the mausoleum here. We open a door, we step inside. We have these 2 stone caskets, and I would imagine the first lords of Dobek are probably buried in here. Maybe the same lord that's responsible for the actual construction of the church here, as I read in the lore. But that's pretty much it, you guys. That's today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I did put a lot of work and effort into carving this out and just making it look and just trying to make it feel realistic and practical and make it really just fit into the town here. And I hope you guys were able to, again, find something that interests you, and maybe you learned something and you're gonna take that away and add it to your own build. I'm super happy with how everything's turning out, and I would say that Dobek is definitely on its way and it's almost complete. I would say we're probably at maybe 85% completion. We have this plot here that we're hovering over now, right over here, that we still got to work on. And then I think we'll be working on this plot though in the next video, get that all straightened out and ready to go. And then we'll probably double back and hit this plot down here. But then way up here, over here in this section, I think I'm going to add something cool over there too. But other than that, guys, we're almost done. So guys, that was update number 7 in the series, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, because I know I did. And if you did, maybe you would consider leaving a like, a comment, and maybe even subscribing if you haven't already. It'll really help me out, and I really do appreciate all the support. Dobek is well on his way to completion, and I'm kind of excited about that because technically I haven't completed any projects on this channel yet, so this will be the first, and so it's kind of a big deal for me. So I like to say thank you to all you guys who just stop by the channel and engage in the content and watch it and take the time out to just comment and like the video. I really appreciate it. It provides me with the motivation to keep continuing and making videos. So again, guys, thank you for joining me in today's episode, and I hope you guys stop by the channel for future episodes and updates to Dobek. This has been the Kinder Knight, and I bid you all a farewell.